My extended family think I'm a monster for going no contact with my parents. AITAH, posted by advertising low 9930. Please like and follow because all stories are in one part unlike the other guys. I'm 18 and my parents only BO kid. They wanted more, but they couldn't have more. So when I was 6 they decided they were going to foster kids with the hope that some would become eligible for adoption in the future. All they told me initially was I would have a load of other kids to play with, so I thought that sounded really great. But then they really pressured me to say I wanted them to foster and I was on board no matter what. The change happened because they were assigned a case/social worker, not sure the difference really, and I would be interviewed alongside them. Something I learned a few years ago is that most people who sign up to foster will say if there are certain needs they can't meet so kids can have better placements. My parents were open for any/all kids with all kinds of behavioral issues if needed. So not once did they think of me, because my parents were open for any kids. We sometimes had really traumatized kids who were violent or some who were so angry at the world that they were violent. I was attacked a lot. I had kids punch and kick me, bite me, choke hold me, burn me and all kinds of things. My parents refused to get me a lock for my door, and when I made a makeshift doorstop they took that away once they found it. Whenever I spoke negatively about the fostering experience, my parents would tell me if I ruined it for those kids and them, then I would be a selfish little asterisk. And did I really think my life was worse than those kids who had been abused? And so much worse. They said this even after one of the foster kids lost their asterisk and beat me hard enough, leave bruises all over my face and body. It was summer so they could hide me until they went away. I had to walk on eggshells depending on who was in the house. There were times it wasn't as terrible and the kids were okay. But I struggled to want any of them around because of how crappy the experience as a whole was. And I was talked to every few months by the case/social worker. But my parents had me afraid to speak up. None of the kids they got were ever free for adoption, so they never adopted any of the kids they fostered. None ever stayed forever either. I was relieved and they knew it, so they would get mad at me every time I was glad to see the kids go home or somewhere else. A couple of times it was suggested that I get therapy by the case/social worker, and my parents never took that seriously. Their foster kids got all the therapy they needed and my parents were so devoted to doing the best for them. But it was like our BO kid and his needs. I think sometimes it was their way of punishing me for being their only. I turned 18 back in March and I moved out of my parents' house and went to stay with a friend and his family. I was there until a couple of weeks ago and now I'm in another state waiting for college to start. Since March I haven't spoken to my parents once. But a few times I spoke to extended family, and they asked why I'm not talking to my parents. I told them I was no contact, and they told me it was disgusting to turn my back on my parents. Some asked me why and I told them, but then it was like unilaterally decided that I'm a monster for holding my parents' kindness for other kids against them. I asked why they wanted me to have contact so bad if I'm a monster, and they told me my parents are my parents and even if they made mistakes I need to forgive them, and that I shouldn't be so quick to throw away my family. They even say it's my age, and everyone young these days is so ready to throw away their whole entire family over every small thing. AITAH, comment who you think is wrong below.